Jhansi Rani. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Which class is going?
Operations management specialization, total quality management.
Okay.
So how many students are there as per your knowledge? How many class students here generally? OM specialization. Do you have any idea? Hello, Ramya? Hello? Hello, Ramya? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello. sir. Offline sir can hear you. Good morning. Ramya, are you audible? Hello. Hello. Yeah. Let us see something about the concept of supply chain management. Myself, Dr. Fanindra from Kakatiya University, and I have assigned you the subject of supply chain management. And let us start something about the concept of supply chain management and what does it mean and what are the components and what are the things need to be considered in the supply chain management. Generally what we have seen in the earlier semesters, the same way here also there are 5 blocks in the content of the supply chain management, and all the supply chain management will be recorded, and the things will be the things whatever the supply chain management includes. It also includes something about the logistics management. It also includes something about supply chain coordination and supply chain strategies, as well as the trends in the supply chain. The concept of supply chain, first we shall have some awareness. We shall make aware about the supply chain first. What is the content? What we need to identify first is that the objective of this main course is to identify and give you some awareness about the content and also the elements which are included in this supply chain management. Because nowadays the organizations are evolving. The organizations are continuously involving in various activities. Apart from the regular activities, few activities, namely the supply chain, the logistics, the receivables management, inventory management are also playing a crucial role in the activities. And that's the matter why the concept of supply chain has been included in our curriculum. And whereas it was the concept, it's a concept which is coined very earlier, but whereas the concept is the broadness of the concept is very large. It includes many components. It starts its inclusion from the point where we purchase raw materials to a finished product. When a commodity or the good is finished in the organization, and it includes all the activities, whatever the activities which are included in the purchasing of raw materials to delivering of a product, finishing product, and all these are being included in the components of the supply chain management. And that's how we maintain some relationship with the manufacturers, with the producers, with the stakeholders, with the people who are supplying the raw materials, as well as the distributors and many other people who are involving in the business process. And whatever the process, we maintain some relationships. What are the service facilities what we render, and all these facilities, also all the services being included in the supply chain management. That's why the concept of supply chain management is very broad. When speaking to earlier, we used to have a word called distribution channels. There we use it to consider only how the good is transferred from the place of purchase to place of consumption. The concept of distribution channels was only limited to the place of consumption, where the good is manufactured, and from where it is reaching to the seller, and from seller to retailer to the person who is consuming, known as consumer or the customer. And that was only the concept which was broad and which was limited in scope, and that was called distribution channels. But whereas the supply chain management can be defined as the management of flow of products and services, which begins from the origin of products, means that where it is started, how it is started, and what are the ways of acquiring or procuring raw material, what is the process, what we are undertaking in order to transform the raw material into the finished products. And also it also includes that whatever the post customer services what we follow, and storage, inventory, go downs, maintenance of stock in progress, and whatever things are there, and all those activities will be included. It starts with the inventories, maintenance of raw materials, processing goods. I hope you know very well about the inventories. Inventories not only involved by finished goods, also semi-finished goods, Raw material also comes from the word of inventory. That's why work in progress and inventories and all those things will be included over there. And those things will be related to things. Not only purchasing, it's also related to the selling as well as the shipment and delivering, and also taking back the customer feedback, customer things also we need to consider. And that's the matters and how we define the management, supply chain management. The second thing, few things which I would like to show you itself, that many pictures, many things that earlier days there was a concept of business when the concept of business was introduced, and there was only the thing itself that buying and selling is only the prospects. Buying and selling is only the tendencies what we require in the business. But changing trends, changing dynamics of the business, changing dynamics of the environment, economy, maintain whatever the things maintain, not only the business need not to be only involved in the buying and selling activity, they need to change, they need to widen their scope in order to manage many activities. And they're not limiting their scope only to the maintaining of buying and selling activity, involving in buying and selling activity. They are maintaining customer databases. They are maintaining customer relationships. No customers, no business, no continuity of transactions, no business, no offers, no discounts, nothing, no marketing. Then where everything is being included in the concept of business nowadays. And that's why we cannot leave the words, we cannot leave the word in a simple manner, similar manner, but we need to interpret, we need to make things done very broadly. And that's why we need to make the things very concept oriented, and that we need to do this. But I'll share a picture, just a minute, I'll share a picture. The concept of in this picture, we can see what happened earlier and what we have done. Only the things itself that the supplier will supply you some raw material, and a manufacturer will process the raw material from semi-finished to the finished goods. And whereas a distributor will be there, and distributor will purchase in bulk quantities, and he sells to the wholesaler or the retailer. And from there, the shopper known as a person is going to the consumer known as customer, and then the information will be there and the amount will be transferred from them. See, the product will be delivered, the information will be delivered, and also flow of money will be there. And whereas again it goes on from the supplier to this, then again the flow of money will be there, and this is called a circular flow of money, and that being sharing over there every time. And that's why that was the things what we have seen: flow of goods, services, and information from product to the consumer, and it depicts something about the product to the manufacturer. And whereas supply chain management basically merges the supply and demand management. It not only concentrating on the supplying, also it makes some merging. It's also includes some activities about the demand in order to identify the demands of the people, in order to identify the things what we need to plan. Means that estimating the demand is a major concept. Unless and until you know about what is the demand, unless and until you know something about the demand for your product, how many people will purchase my product? Companies are going for the surveys. What happened in the case of nano cars? Whether a car with 1 lakh rupees of car worth, if we release a product into the market, whether how many people come forward to purchase our car? And pre-bookings, why the companies are going for the pre-booking? So that how many people will come forward to make their bookings. Same thing happens in the electric bike, Ola Electric also. What they are doing, they are asking for the pre-booking, and they are paying the time, they are giving the time, and they are delivering you at the post dated. And whatever the instance are there, and all these things where we are also including demand also. And that's why supply chain management is not only concentrating on the supply aspects, also it includes something about the demand management also. And various strategies are used, various approaches will be used in order to maintain and also effectively manage the supply chain, and whatever the step-by-step process, everywhere we need to make the things done. And until and unless we make the things very effectively done, and we cannot make the supply chain very easily. And what happens and what are the advantages, what we manage and what we get is the thing what we need to identify. And that let's have a glance about the process first, and so that we will be able to know about identification of what will be done in the supply chain management, and that we need to do this. Just Supply chain management, the process of supply chain management. In order to know something about what are the steps involved, in order to know what are the things, what we involve, what we do in the supply chain management, just have a glance about, we'll have a glance about the supply chain management process so that we'll be able to know what are the steps as well as the scope of supply chain management also can be known here. And supply chain management is both things called cost effective and also efficient. You might be doing about doing right things and also doing things right way. And efficiency was effectiveness, what we have done in management, introduction to management or introduction to organization behavior, where we can see this effectiveness versus efficiency. The same way, what happens here? Supply chain management is a process which is used by the companies to ensure their supply chain working effectively and efficiently. It is a process where every company ensures that their supply chain, means their place of distribution to the place of consumption, is moving very constantly, whereas purchase of raw material to the purchase, selling of goods and getting some feedbacks and all the process, all the activities which are managing in the companies, managing the organizations are going very effectively and very smoothly. And that's how we can identify and that's how we can see the things happens. That's why maintaining effectively and efficiently the supply chain is what a supply chain management. What does it include? It includes a basic things, a basic steps that those are a company makes to transform raw materials to a finished product. The basic activities, what we do itself, there are 5 basic components that every supply chain management need to do. First, identify and plan. They have a chart over here. First thing, plan, develop, make, deliver, and return. The first thing, what we need to plan. Every organization need to identify, need to plan the things accordingly, because unless and until they estimate the demand of their products, the demand for the products, until unless they know about their capabilities, capacities, and their workforce capabilities, their managing capabilities, and all related activities, no person can plan. Thinking before doing is what planning is. Thinking before doing, acting means whatever the plans, what are the strategies, what we design, what we plan is things what we need to consider. What are the plans, what are the things what we need to consider, and that those things we need to consider and that we need to do here. And that's why planning is a basic important and activity what we consider as a basic function of management that we need to do here. Here also supply chain management starts with the planning activity. Then develop the strategies. Basing on the planning activity and basing on your observations, what you have observed in the planning activity, develop some activities so that develop some alternatives also, so that you can evaluate your alternatives, so that you can select a best alternative and you can make the things done effectively and efficiently. And that's why plan and then go to the development stage, where you can, even when a product is being designing, when a new product is being expecting by the people, when there is a moderate, when there is a need of desktops and laptops and cell phones and web cameras. There were no web cameras and no online teaching modes, pedagogies over there before the COVID pandemic. And where there was a situation happened that people might not go to the institutions, people might not go for the people. And whereas then online pedagogies and also tools like Zoom and Google Meet and wherever the Microsoft Teams and all these things has come into existence, and they have planned things, they have expected the things, they have expected the needs of the people, and ultimately, and the companies, the organizations, also the colleges, then like the institutions, where we are doing our programs, they have designed and they have developed the modules, and they have made the premium subscriptions, and also they are making the things done. Means planning as well as developing the things. What are the platforms they are developing, whatever the YouTube channels lives or whatever the things are there, they are developing the strategies, and that they are making it into implementation and delivering and also getting some returns from the people. The same way, organizations need to plan effectively about the things, what they can do in the best of things, what are the resources which are available to them, identify the resources and perform the best whatever they can do in the organization. And that's why planning is the first activity. Developing interns makes identifying your resources and developing some activities, and then go for the implementation stage. Implementation is what we are going for the making stage. Make stage is that we need to identify, we need to design, we need to plan. Purchasing of raw materials is done in very effective manner. At a lower price, we have purchased the goods. Second thing, developing a product. Whatever the content or whatever the manpower, whatever the identify, whatever the resources are there, You have identified the resources and all those things has been done. Then what you will do? You need to design a product, you need to produce a product, you need to make a product final output that gives you an enlightenment that every customer will come forward to purchase the product. Every customer will come forward to purchase the product. And that's why making a product is also an important thing that we need to identify, because whatever the research and development cells known as R&D cells, known as every company are maintaining, every organization maintaining their R&D cells, research and development, because they need to identify the peoples, they need to identify the taste and preferences, and then whether the product is possible or not, and what are the content and what are the resources which are available to us, and the R&D cells will look after and also develop the strategies and the things about the activities what they need to do. And then finally to interpret, to showcase, to present, we call a prototype. Prototype means a sample product will be designed, and then basing on those prototype, they make the things done. And that's why making and then delivering. Delivering is 4 stages, and where the products are delivered to the customer and at their design destinations. What are the customer destinations or what are the customer requirements are there, and there the product should be delivered. This is ways where the logistics, where we use the word called logistics. We accept the orders, we make the things done, and we need to deliver the products as well as whatever the time period, whatever we have chosen, we need to choose, and we need to give a time period, and within the time period, within the time frame, we need to deliver the products to the people whoever placed the orders. And whereas the delivery stage is also referred to as logistics, because in order to make the transportation, they make the arrangement, they make all things, whereas transport companies, transport vehicles are the persons who are involving in logistics, and all these people are the plays a key role, and who delivers the product from one place to other place, and place of production to the place of consumption. And that's why the delivery is also an important process what we need to do. And sometimes we also expect something about the return, because the last and final step, because sometimes whenever you have ordered a product, but you're not satisfied, or what are the things what you got is not intact, means not in good a position or in a damaged position, then people will go for some return process. And that's why it's a stage where you can find returns in a process also. Then that also need to be effectively managed, because it's selling your product, transporting your product, where there doesn't ends. The role of businessman doesn't ends only by selling the product. It doesn't ends, because post sales service is also an important factor that is need to be considered, because you're assuring them the warranty, you're assuring them a guarantee, you're assuring some returns and price discounts, and what are the things, and whatever your promises and all these things will be kept over there, and that need to be identified, and that need to be maintained by the organization in order to maintain your goodwill. If you're not maintaining your goodwill, if you're not maintaining your business effectively and efficiently, and you might not be able to maintain as well as a good relationship with the customer, good CRM with the customers, and you cannot retain the customer for a longer period of time. The customer beliefs, customs and beliefs of the people, what they believe is, when you provide a better service, they believe in you, and they come back to you, and they can visit for the future purpose, future activities, also for the next activities also. Unless and until you're not fulfilling your promises, unless and until you fulfilling your words, and what are the things you have offered, what are the things you provided to them at the time of sales, and those things need to be fulfilled. Customer care services, customer responses, complaints, respond to the complaints, and many more things, and what are the sections are there, what are things are there, and all these things, even packaging, even delivering with the damaged goods, replacement of the things, replacement service, warranties, and all these things will be as a part of things, and that we need to identify as a things also. And that is a basic thing what we need to maintain, basic thing what we need to do in the organization, and that gives you an emphasis on the process. The process is the first thing what we need to consider, because unless and until we know something about the process of management process, and that we cannot do this. And that's why we are also making things done in the presence of this first thing. And second thing what we have in the components is, just let me share the syllabus content page, and so that that will be helpful to you in order to know something about and brief about the things. And we have a structure, of management, structure of supply chain structure, supply chain planning, network decision process, and logistics. Just a minute. Let me share this. What happens over there is the business is not only limited, it's limiting its scope to the only one activities, their extension, their scope is being increasing because the technology, the e-commerce, the online requirements, the competition, and all these things are also paving them to move towards the online forms, online modes, and also expand their business activities at a very rapid speed. And this is what the content page of our supply chain management subject. This is what the supply chain subject component content page, and where we include the five brief topics called Introduction to Supply Chain Management, where we see something about an overview. It includes something about advantages, disadvantages, and the process, and what are the things, whatever been the basic components of the basic things are there, and all those things will be covered in the process of overview. Whereas supply chain structure, and if it means that where we started with the purchasing of raw material and to the end of customer service, where you have seen a diagrammatic form of flow of money, flow of production, flow of goods, and flow of services, and all these things from one person to other person, from the manufacturer to the seller, from raw material seller to the manufacturer, from manufacturer to the wholesaler, distributor, and all the persons how it reaches to the customer will be there in the process of supply chain structure. And supply chain planning, and how to plan the activities, how to make the things done effectively and efficiently, and all those things are also being included in the supply chain planning. And whereas network designs, how to design networks. Networks is all about and how to make the things done using in the logistics. When you're delivering a product, and how it should reach from one person known as a place of production to the place of consumption. When you're ordering a thing, when you're seeing in the Flipkart or Amazon where there is an online processing system, order processing system, you can see this. It is delivered from network hub to one hub to other hub, main hub to local hub. And where it means that the good, they have a systematical process. They have a systemized network of transporting from one place to the other place, and in a systematical form. It takes 2 days to move the goods from one place to other place. And after 2 days, it reaches so and so place. And after 1 day, it reaches so and so place. By one time, by so and so time, it reaches so and so place. It means that you are designing a network from A to B, how much time it takes, from B to C, how much time it takes. And you are designing a network so that you can effectively also give the information to the public, give the information to the consumer, so that they can also get the interface about the things. They will be able to know about the things delivered. Even the Zomato, they design network that when you are ordered a good, even they'll give you a service. Whoever the person is delivering your food, they'll also give you the content, they'll give the map of the person, and how they give you, and how they make the things done, and how he is traveling, and what is the way he is traveling, and where he is right now, rightly pointed, and you can see the map, and you can see the selection, you can see the things, and you can do the things, and that's effectively. And that we need to do here. And then we have a word called logistics management, and where you can use some logistic management is also the basic thing what we have done in transportation, known as many forms of techniques and many forms of things are there where logistics can be done, where choosing a best route, choosing a best form, and choosing a best thing is about the transportation. How do you transport the goods? When you're seeing something in the OR, operations research paper, in the second semester of your MBA, then we can find something about operation research transportation, which is a best method where you can minimize your cost and deliver the commodities from place of purchase, place of production to the place of consumption, is what about the transportation. How to manage the godowns, how to manage the warehouses, how to manage the things, and all those things includes in the logistics management. Supply chain drivers includes who are the persons who are involved in the supply chain. Even sometimes a third party intervention. We may take the third party intervention because we may not hire the vehicle, we may not purchase all the vehicles, we may not directly transport the commodities to one place to other place. That's why we may take the help of assistance of the transportation companies or logistic companies who render their professional services over there. And that's why we may also take the help assistance of those people, and we can also make some understandings, MOUs and understandings, and so that we can make the things done. And that's also how we can do and call supply chain drivers. And the third thing is coordination. What we need to do in the coordination, supply chain coordination, we need to interact. As I said, supply chain is not only limiting for the only delivering the goods, it also includes from the procurement of raw materials to, from the procurement of raw materials, purchase of raw materials to selling of goods and services, and also post service. It includes many activities. And that's why we need to identify what are the supply chain operations, what are the things need to be included in things, and all those things in the first chapter, supply chain operations. And whereas supply chain inventory management, what is inventory? I said you inventory is not only a finished goods. Inventory includes three things: raw materials, work in progress or stock in progress, as well as finished goods. And how to maintain the inventory, and what are the inventory management techniques, what we do known as ABC classification, VED classification. There are some classifications, some tools and techniques what we do in the supply chain in form of inventory management, for inventory management, and all those things also there in the inventory management. And next, performance measures, supply chain performance measures. And it measuring about the supply chain means how much time it took, and how much time, what was the performance, and how it happens, and how it done, and all those things also being included in the supply chain process performances or measures. And whereas technology, I said you that technology is playing a crucial role. Technology is playing a crucial role in the every prospect of the business activity. Accounting, where we are using some tallies, where we are using financial information systems. Human resources, where we are using human resource information systems. Marketing, in order to analyze the databases, getting the customer data, getting the feedbacks, we are using some databases and systems, and marketing information systems we are using. The same way, in order to enable your work and smoothen your work and make your work very effective and efficiently, there are many tools that helps you in order to make and maintain your supply chain very effectively. That's why integration of this technology, integration of these components in the integration of technological components in the business, technological concepts, particularly in the supply chain management, will help you in order to give you an appropriate information, give you an appropriate report can be generated, and so that you can interface, you can make your decisions effectively and efficiently. And that's why there was an integration of coordination includes maintaining and relationship, and that's why integration of information technology is also being done in the supply chain management. And coming to block 4, we have something about the strategic issues. What are the major issues what we involve? What are the major issues, major problems, what may happens, what may takes place in the supply chain? Are there in the components of supply chain, issues in the supply chain? And customer service, I said you that the supply chain is not limiting by selling the commodity. Customer service is also included. Customer service also been included in the supply chain. That's why whatever the supply chain customer service is there. When I'll give small example that whenever you have purchased a new product, you could not be able to make it done, could not be able to operate or install or utilize the product. What we do is generally we call to the customer care and we take the assistance of the people, because that gives you, they give you an emphasis about, they give you some idea about the things. Otherwise, they share a video, otherwise they give you some instructions or leaflet or booklet. And so that still, if you're not able to do that, you reaches the customer service, and that customer service will provide you some information, the basic content, and that gives you some proper information, clear information to manage the things done effectively. And that's why the customer service is also an effective thing. And benchmarking is called about the standards. What are the standards in the supply chain management? And that standards are going to be included over there. And that's why benchmarking standards is there. Whereas every companies will take some standards. Whereas in related to the production, they take some trademarks, ISOs, ISIs. And the same way, what are the standards which we need to follow in the supply chain management also are included over here. And supply chain restructuring. What does it include? Supply chain restructuring. Supply chain restructuring includes that what are the trends, what are the tendencies, and what are the things what we need to make the things done. And that's why those also been included in the restructuring. It means adopting the changing trends, adopting the requirements of the companies, adopting the requirements of the markets, economy, and we can make the things done effectively. And that's what we can identify and we can make the things done effectively. Whereas block 5 includes the trends in the supply chain. The trends in the supply chain, because we need to identify what is going on around us. What is going on around us and what are the things need to be considered, and all those things will be considered here. And that's why global supply chain perspectives. What we are learning is about Indian perspectives, and when we see something about, we make some interaction, we make differentiate about the what we are doing here and what is happening in the other countries or other states. And that's why better to go with these things which interrelate, which integrates with the foreign countries. What are the practices, what are the activities which is being carried out by the people who are working in other places, other countries. And when we integrate with the people who are making the things done here, and that's why we are making a sense of what we are doing here and what it is being moving around the globe, and all these things are also being included here in the emerging trends in supply chain. That's why global perspectives and supply chain organization issues. These are the issues where we get something about the issues in supply chain, and whereas these are the specific issues called organization issues. What an organization may face, apart from the general issues, and what type of things what they need to consider. Means that first one is that financing. Financing is a major issue, because whenever a company is being started, we call it as a capital. And the capital will be divided as a long-term capital, short-term capital, fixed capital, working capital. And fixed capital we maintain only for the fixed asset, purchasing of fixed assets, machineries, and all those things. Whereas working capital for the recurring expenses and what we maintain in the organization is called recurring expenses, so it's called working capital. But now here, when we see the finance as a concept, when you're going for this form of supply chain, we need to maintain some logistics, we need to maintain vehicles, and where we cannot utilize, we may not make the things utilize of those things very regularly, and people feel that these are the burden. These may be the burden for the organization. That's why they go for the third party interventions, where the people from the other companies who are very professional in performing such form of activities will be involved in performing the activities of this. And that's how we can make the things. That's why financing is also an organizational issue. What we can human related factors called maintenance of huge staff members, maintenance of their payments and salaries, and all those things also the factors which we need to consider. And whereas the unit 19 covers about the business models, various business models been adopted from various countries, and where all these business models where may be the components that may be considered. And last one is trends. Supply chain management also involved in some trends, and what are the trends and what are the things what we need to consider and what we need to do is also been there as a part of the supply chain management. What are the changing tendencies? Every company make their own form of services, every company make their own things, their own forms, and how they make this done. And that's why we need to identify and we need to make the things about the what are the things what they do. And what we are doing is technology is a major part today, and that technology part being considered as a very important factor what we are going to do. And let us have a glance of technology part first for today, and the remaining parts, whatever things, other things are there, and a systematical order, one by one, we go from the next class. Okay. And what we have here is technology as a main component, and that impacts the organization, and that's why what we do is technology will consider and we'll make the things done first. Introduction of technology. Not only the introduction of technology will give us some benefits of what we get benefits of that. First one, that cost reduction. Cost reduction is the first thing what we get in the form of the benefits of the introducing of technology in any business entity, because a machine can perform some activities which a 1 or 2 person, the 2 persons work can be easily done by the machine. And that's why introduction of machineries, introduction of computers, introduction of technology as being the part of things. And that's why the companies that opt to participate in supply chain and then invite initiatives, accept a specific role to enact. And that's why when we talk about information access and retailers have an essential designation, they emerge to a position of prominence with the help of technologies. Means everywhere they use some technology. They use some technologies, and that technologies has been made in order to make them very enlightened, and that's what we need to make. Yeah, first one, what are the three distinctive benefits? The distinct benefits what we get in order to adopt the supply chain management. Integrating the technology as a part of the supply chain management is what? The first one is cost reduction, the second one is productivity, and the third one is improvement and also product market strategies. The advancement of technology will lead you to the readily availability of all the products. You might not be able to present all the products in the store. Whereas you can present in form of the catalogs, you can present in form of the web pages, you can present in form of the papers or the products which is form of web pages. And that's why that also increases or that also reduces. Integrating the technology, integrating between the forms and regulations, rules and regulations and goods and services and the details, and that also makes you to reduce your cost and also leads to the pricing that also leads to the getting some benefits, because you are not maintaining the wastage of, you are not going for the wastage of papers and taking the orders through offline and many things. When you are using and integrating some technology, you can receive mails, you can get some orders, you can send receipts, and where the paper wastage can also be reduced, and that's also reduces the cost of things. And productivity, whereas these invention of new tools and softwares and also making the people to produce to increase their work productivity, because whatever they are doing by manual, then the same thing may use by system and they can complete within the 40% of time. When I gave you a word of Excel sheet, when I give you a summation of all the balance sheets, and when I'm giving you normally without making any form of, you need to use some tools, you need to use some ratios and tables and all these things, then it takes a long time to interpret through tables. But whereas when you enter the same data in Excel and gives you in many different forms of graphs, different forms of tables, different forms of presentations, and many pivot tables, you can use your pivot tables in order to make your rows to columns, columns to rows, and integration, subdivision, many other things. You can make it and you can make things done very effectively. And that's why it also increases when you integrate something called information technology in your business, in your aspects of supply chain management, that increases the productivity, means work productivity will be increased. Whatever the things what they do will be increased. If they could perform 8 tasks or 10 tasks in a day, then when you integrate the technology as a part, then they can perform more than 10 to 12 or 15 tasks in a day. And that's why they can work will be simplified and work can be easily done. And that's how we can make the things done. That's why integration of technology will also increases the productivity for the people. And then improvement and product market strategies. And what is happening here? Everywhere we are collecting the data. Even when you are viewing a channel, viewing a YouTube video, even viewing any Gmails, and they're asking you something about your interest. What do you like and what is your interest? What is your feedback? And what if you are giving some feedback, some interest? And whenever you are browsing on a web page, also they are recording the catchy, the memory what you are browsing. And when you're seeing something in the Flipkart or Amazon, the people that your last watch, what you watched lastly, previously you have watched, and that they are giving you information, means that they are storing the data and they're giving you some information in order to retain the customer. And these forms of strategies, what they build up in order to make alert to customers, in order to make alert and also make the customers retain, because you might be able to like this product. You have chosen this product earlier, you have not purchased, but you have visited the product, you have visited the page, but you have not purchased because you might be interested in that product, and that's why they give some alerts, and those things also makes you improve your product strategies. And that's how we can also make things done. And that's why this improvement of the product and also strategies can also be done over here. And that's what we can do here. And electronic commerce being the part of the things. Electronic commerce, I hope everyone knows about electronic commerce. It helps enterprises to automate the process of transferring goods, documents, data, and information electronically between suppliers and customers and sellers through electronic media, through a lesser and cheaper and also less time consuming format. Whereas EDI is called data interchange. It involves of changing or moving from swapping of documents from standard format from computer to computer. Means that apart from the email, It's a third party where the person call, we are using some interfaces between the Gmails and many other things are there. It's a secure forms the same way. Here also, in order to present, in order to exchange information, between one computer other computer through a network, and the establishment of private network will be there. And through that private network, and the people can establish, people can change and transform the information from one to other. And that's how we can make the electronic data interchange. And then you might be seeing about the barcode scanners, what we are doing nowadays. Everywhere we are using the barcode scanners, and they are just scanning the things. They are just scanning the QR code of the barcode, what is printed on the product. And even when you go to the passbook printing in the bank also, they are asking you to go for the barcode, and the machine is directly taking and machine is directly giving. And whereas your question papers answer sheets are also being given with the barcodes, and they'll scan the barcodes and then give the things. And whatever they not, wherever they not, when the good is delivered, they only scan the barcode so that they can record the things whenever the product is being reached to you, and that will be just recorded by the barcode scanner whenever it is being dispatching, and they again scan so that the time and the product ID description will be recorded, and that will be shared to the persons. And that's how the barcode scanner works in the supply chain. And warehouse is also what we warehouse. Databases means we maintain the databases. We maintain all the data what we have defined and what we are giving in the form of the databases. Because whenever you are taking the information of the customer, we are maintaining in the databases. Whenever you are asking for the customer mobile number, mail ID, or information address, then you are recording in the system, and that gives a database. That forms a database. And this will be helpful in order to make the thing done very effectively also. That's why data warehouses are there. ERP tools, enterprise resource planning tools are there, and many functionalities. Enterprise resources can be maintained, and those are the things which we can also make things done very effectively. That's why these things need to be identified. These things need to be maintained in the organization. It's not a very easy term. It has a wide concept, wide scope. It has a wider scope. And wider things that can identify. And that's why we need to concentrate and we need to make the things very effectively and very effectively and efficiently. And it gives a very broad role. Okay, and that's what we require from here. And this is a brief introduction what I would like to convey in this class. And in the next class, we'll just go through the overview of the sample supply chain management, and whereas the supply chain structure planning, and one by one we'll discuss and make things done. Okay, and I hope that this will be the end of the class, and then we'll continue in the next class. Thank you.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, any doubt?
Yeah, sir, the subject is operation management, right?
No, it's supply chain management.
Supply chain. Okay.
Yeah, supply chain management. This is supply chain management, and you can have few concepts of supply chain management, because operations management includes, because whereas logistics is also been a part of the things, because operations management is purely regarding the transformation of raw materials to finished products. But supply chain is having a wider scope, because it includes from the what?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Any more, Ramya? Do you have any doubts? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And next class we'll meet and we'll get back to things done. Thank you.